Pistis is a Greek word, ancient Greek word. It has several meanings. It means trust, reliability, and faith. And if you were reading the New Testament in Greek, pistis would be the word you would see. And when you saw it, it would mean faith. It also is mentioned together with other words such as elpis, which means hope. Now, Fides is Latin. And the Romans didn't look at Fides in terms of faith, but they considered it an essential element in the character of an individual. It means that that person was reliable. It means that there was trust. Fides meant that there was a reciprocal and mutual responsibility that both individuals had in a relationship, and it was a high virtue, a virtue that was meant to be desired and used. Now, in the Bible, faith is defined as sure of what we hope for and certain of what we don't see in the book of Hebrews. Faith, another definition from the dictionary, is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Faith is not a magic show. Faith is something that we can reach out and touch, and it's a personal, sort of like you becoming a personal Jesus. Welcome to the Steven Thompson Experience. My name is Steven Thompson, and this is my experience. We're going on a journey using music and history as a roadmap, and at the end, hopefully, we'll have taken something old to teach us something new. This is the intersection between the spiritual and the secular, unlikely encounters in unexpected places, and exploration of what has happened, what is possible, and all the while embracing who you are, who we are, and how together, whether it be one, two, or many, perhaps we can make our part of the world a little bit better than it currently is. I hope to educate, inform, and inspire you today. This is the second episode of the Jesus series, a special 5-part series exploring unlikely encounters with Jesus, not in a church, but in secular music by secular artists. Next up today, we're talking about Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. Personal Jesus was a song by the English electronic musical band Depeche Mode. It came out on their 7th album, Violator, in 1989. In fact, it went up to number 13 on the UK singles chart and number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100. So this was their first single to make the US Top 40 since 1984, when their song People Are People was their first gold album. Now, this was the first time that Depeche Mode actually used the guitar as a dominant instrument in the song. Now, the song was inspired by an unlikely source. It was inspired not necessarily by Jesus and a religious experience that the band was having. It was inspired by Elvis, a book called Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley. And songwriter Martin Gore said this: it's a song about being Jesus for somebody else, somebody to give you hope and to care. It's about how Elvis Presley was her man and her mentor, and how often that happens in love relationships. How everybody's heart is like a God in some way, and that's not a very balanced view of someone. So I want to look at the idea of this. The song has these lyrics. It says, reach out and touch faith. Reach out, touch faith, your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Now, to me, that is what they were talking about. Elvis being the mentor, Elvis helping Priscilla Presley out, but the idea of being a personal Jesus, somebody who cares for somebody else. So let's look at Kelly Miller. Now, Kelly Miller was born on July 18th in 1863 in South Carolina. He was the 6th of 10 children. His father was a soldier for the Confederacy in the Civil War, and his mother was a former slave. When he was growing up, he attended grammar school that had been established during the Reconstruction era following the Civil War, but there was a local minister who noticed that Miller was very good in math. And this minister arranged for him to attend Fairfield Institute, which got him a scholarship eventually to Howard University. Miller graduated in 1886, and he did really great in Latin and Greek and math and sociology, and he got a position first in the U.S. Pension Office, where he had worked as an undergrad. And then in 1887, his recommendations came from his professors, and he became the first Black man to be admitted to study at Johns Hopkins University, where he did postgraduate work in mathematics, physics, and astronomy until 1889. He then went on to become a mathematician, a sociologist, an author, a newspaper columnist, and an activist. He was the first Black graduate student in math and the first Black man to attend Johns Hopkins University, as I said, and eventually he became a dean at Howard University, active in civil rights. And when he wrote, he spoke and pushed for access to higher education for the entire Black community at the time in the South. So here's what we look at. This idea, reaching out and touch faith. The idea of being a personal Jesus is the idea of helping someone. You may see something in somebody else that they haven't even seen yet. And then you are willing to aid, to help, to be a friend, a personal Jesus, like Jesus who took time to help, to sacrifice for others. And that is an attitude and a posture that we could take as we move through the world. So Kelly Miller had a minister who looked at him and saw that he was good in math and helped him to get into college, which he would not have gotten into most likely on his own. And then Miller paid it back by helping other people. And that is the posture of the song lyrics. Being a faithful, dependable person who helps other people. Back to the lyrics of the song. Reach out, touch faith. Reach out, touch faith. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers. Someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers. Someone who's there. Forbes magazine talks about the power of listening. You heard that in the lyrics. Someone who hears your prayers. Prayers are usually hopes and desires that you are expressing to the creator of the universe. And in our day-to-day, we're in a position, maybe we are somebody who can hear what somebody else's wants, what they want, what their needs are. We care. Jonathan Westover says in his article, The Power of Listening, that research shows that listening to somebody else, active listening, has several benefits inside of a company for leaders and individuals. 1, it builds stronger relationships. 2, it develops greater trust. 3, builds more effective team collaboration. 4, it enhances individual and group decision-making. And 5, it leads to greater productivity. And 6, enhanced creativity and innovation. That's just by listening. By listening to an individual, you can help them to feel safe, heard, validated, understood, and valued. Personal Jesus. Jessica Ziza wrote an article called Listening to Serve, Servant Leadership and the Practice of Effective Listening. And she examined the importance of listening in servant leadership. And she says that servant leadership tells us that listening is important. And listening allows us to look within ourselves and become aware of the barriers that prevent us from listening effectively. And then as we understand ourselves, we then can better understand others and show them compassion and empathy. Back to the lyrics. Reach out, touch faith. Reach out, touch faith, your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone who hears your prayers, someone who's there. Being there. You see, we're a diverse group of people. We all have hopes and we all have dreams. We're traveling on individual paths, paths that intersect from time to time, paths that diverge and go in opposite directions. We form communities, we make friends, we have conflict, we work through differences, we celebrate our successes together, and we mourn our losses. We are not a monolith. You know, sometimes it can irk me when I hear on the news or read a paper or even a social media post that begins with words like Black people need to, or immigrants need to, or people with same-sex attraction need to. No, addressing the needs of a diverse group of people with sweeping statements is more harmful than beneficial. You aren't changing anyone's belief systems, nor are you teaching a new lesson, but instead you entrench the opinions of those who support you and further alienate those who disagree with you. What is another choice? Inquiry, listening, asking questions, attempting to teach. How about choosing to celebrate diversity and the accomplishments of those around you? What would happen if you made that decision? The decision to celebrate others, the decision to listen, to look for the best. You see, that is how you can play a role in being a personal Jesus for someone. So who are you? What can you celebrate today? And who can you celebrate today? Who can you listen to today? You see, it's the first of the month, the first of a new month. So what are you going to do? You can make plans. You can reset your goals. You can set new goals. Challenge yourself with a new month, new goals, new habits, or continue what you started, or restart what you stopped. It's all available to you. Just go for it. Thank you for listening to the Steven Thompson Experience. I come here to educate, inform, and inspire, and this is a platform for leaders and followers, hopeful optimists, careful pragmatists, and people who want to bend the arc of the universe towards justice. I hope I've moved you a bit in that direction. If not, I will try again next time. But as for you, remember, you have talents and gifts and abilities and achievements to pursue and a race to run. So go do it. Thank you for listening to the Steven Thompson Experience. We got a new webpage out there, the Steven Thompson Experience. Check it out. Subscribe to our blog and get a free chapter this month of my book, The Adventures of Aquafunkapus and the Macrocosm of Mayhem. It's out there. It's on Amazon. So come on back next time. We're going to have another episode in the Jesus series. Have a great night or morning. Take care. Bye-bye.